how's it going? Welcome to my backyard. This is Kaden. Let me give you the tour. Hello and welcome to the first edition of What's in My House. I thought this would be kind of like a really fun series for me to share with you guys. There were so many concepts, even before we bought the house, of what we were going to do, because in our last house, it was all about not seeing the neighbors, which we always saw and always heard, and it was so disturbing. We had this beautiful view that overlooked the 91 freeway and these little, the rest of the city, and it was awesome. It was great. The problem was that you could never appreciate it. You could never enjoy it because there was always a dog barking on this side, another dog barking on that side. When we picked this house, quiet, super duper quiet. Only airplanes, which I don't mind, and a lot of farmland around us. So naturally, very nice contrast from the last house. And so we kept reworking these ideas, and we actually really wanted a waterfall. That really didn't work out because I thought about all the cleaning that you had to do, the additional electrical that I would have to do, and I was just like, I'm not gonna touch electrical, dude. We settled on stamped concrete, and most of this Kevin had designed, and they were ideas that I had designed one, he had designed one, and I was like, you know what, you just draw it, and I'll, let me know if you need help with any final details. He came up with this whole layout, and I was like, cool, let's do it. And I'm like, I don't know, let's just make it hella simple. So we went with a diamond stamp pattern, because I like big grand things, so diamond, and then it's stamped with this really cool thing that they used. It was like a rubber mat, and they just literally just step on it, and it creates this pattern that you see. And then we were able to work in two colors on the concrete. So this is not natural color, so we've got like, if I remember correctly, one is called Outback. Yeah, like Outback Steakhouse. One was called like Outback. Like, I forget what the red color is, but I don't know, it's beautiful. I wanted it to pop. And on the side, we wanted cypress trees. I've always wanted cypress trees. They just remind me of like a Tuscany sort of vibe, which is what I want when I come into the backyard, and I want it to block that neighbor. Even though they're really quiet, we never hear them. I just want to feel very enclosed. And then we have the stepping stones with the river rocks that surround it, and it looks very, very zen. And we've even got the solar LED lights that we got at Harbor Freight for a really good deal. Or was it Harbor Freight, or I think it was either Harbor Freight or Big Lots. That's a place to really go to get a good deal on those guys. And they're solar, so we never really have to touch them. The landscaper, the concrete dude that was able to do this, I'll put his link in the description, because he does a really fast job. He was literally done with the concrete in like 3 days. The rest of the stuff took a little bit longer. He put in the cypress trees for us, and he kept telling me, like, I don't like to do landscape. I'm like, okay. So I knew I was gonna have to come back in here and just kind of like make sure, check up. And I maintain the little garden that we have here. So in the garden, we have about 8 bags of soil that I got from Home Depot. And it's a good thing I'm doing this now, because I can still remember kind of like my stats. And then I bought basically 2 trays of salvia. And salvia are the purple ones that you see there. And they're really nice and hardy, and I only have to water them like 3 times a week. The same with my cypress, so I try to match the same watering cycle with the cypress, because they're all in the same sort of irrigation line. Other than that, I've got some mint here on the left side, super easy to grow. And then on that side, I've got rosemary. So all these plants here are actually supposed to repel mosquitoes. Because when we first moved in here, and I'm allergic to mosquito bites, and basically I get like an allergic reaction every time I get bitten. I'll get very swollen, and it will last a lot longer than usual. Lastly, I got 2 lavenders. This will probably help you if you're like planting stuff. Salvia, very hardy. Mint, very hardy. Rosemary, kind of iffy. It can be kind of iffy if you don't plant it correctly, and if you don't fertilize and water it immediately and kind of monitor it for the first week. Kind of iffy, Lavender is really iffy though. The 2 of them died, and I can kind of speculate why they did, but I don't really know. So I just popped in there, placed some marigolds, which adds a little, you know, burst of color to the garden instead of just green and purple, which was super easy. And now that I'm a member of our harvest club over here, just a walk away, I'm learning so much about plants and how to plant and how to maintain and which ones are kind of iffy and which ones are super easy. This right here is the centerpiece. So we really were like excited to get a patio set, and we really went back and forth about so many ideas. Should we go with the, you know, the iron table with the umbrella? Should we go with the big table and the benches, the long table with the benches? We settled on this because it's solid wood. It's gray. We've had a whole gray kind of theme going on over here. It's very comfortable. We got it online because we just really couldn't find anything in person. And you know, we can keep sealing this every year or so to make sure that the wood is maintained. It's a little bit more higher maintenance. The feel of wood, the look of wood, it's so much more friendlier and softer than I would say iron. And a little bit more farmhouse, which is what I'm going for, a theme that you'll kind of see throughout the home as we go into what's in each room and we dig into that, because I didn't want it to be too commercial. You know, sure, yeah, this is basically commercial, but I didn't want it to be too commercial in what I have seen, you know, and I still wanted it to be affordable. So this unit here, this was about $350, which that's not too bad. I mean, compared to it's you know, I think what we bought before, the other set that we bought before is near the $1,000 range that's sitting back at the old house. It's like super heavy table. These are super light. I can move them very easily. I can clean them very easily. Lastly, we have this guy. We got this guy pretty early in the game, which is a copper chimney style fire pit, and it's freaking awesome. I love it. I love using it whenever I can. I can set a fire by myself. I don't have to wait for Kevin to like do it or whatever. It's very safe. I can feel comfortable about leaving embers in here because of this chimney. These logs we straight up found, they're so picturesque. We straight up found them in the garden house right there behind some bushes or something. This thing, which is, it used to be very copper and now it's not, so maybe I'm gonna look into how I can keep it more copper-like, because I want that thing to pop. I'm so proud of it. It's so zen to come out here early in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. The sun is just peeking over that ridge, or actually over that ridge. It sets over there. You can hear the bells of the cows in the background clanging. It doesn't smell yet. It doesn't smell yet of cow. Pretty much very easily, and entertain your guests and have, you know, entertain yourself. Just come out here and sip some coffee. Look through this little window here in the gate and enjoy, and then come back into your house and know that this is always here for you, you know, when you need a bit of fresh air and a bit of vitamin D on your skin. So that was it. That's my first episode, What's in My Backyard. I'd love to continue the conversation in the comments. For those of you who maintain your own gardens, what tips can you share to me? Because I'm really starting to get into gardening and I really want to be knowledgeable farmhand, with what they call us over there at the garden club. I want to be a really knowledgeable farmhand, and if you could share like your best tip in the comments, like it doesn't have to be a paragraph or anything, but just share your best tip. I'd love to know it and hear it. Maybe we can get some dialogue going back and forth. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.